Hi BookTube, it's Stephanie. So let's talk about all the books that I read in January. So in January I finished 10 books, most of them in the first half before my dad got COVID. But yeah, I still read 10 things and I'm pretty happy about that. So let's start. And let's start with the one that has been on my currently reading for way too long. And the main reason why I didn't just DNF it was because I had less than 100 pages left. And it was fine, but I should have DNF'd it. And that is Gods of Jade and Shadow by Silvia Moreno Garcia. Unpopular opinion. Overhyped as fuck. The writing was fine, and I will, if I have something, if I see something else that this author has written, I will probably try it to see what I think. But this, again, 100 pages took me a year. And when I finished this, when I started this book after the new year, I had 50 pages left. I forced myself through them just so that I could put it on my red shelf. So, yeah, I gave it 2 stars. And it probably would have gotten 2 or 3 stars anyway. I was interested and intrigued by the descriptions of the mythology, but the actual story, it bored me. It bored the crap out of me. And I really don't get why people like this. Well, I can get why people like it. I think that if I had been in a mood in which I had read a lot of high impact fantasy or sci-fi and then read this as kind of a calm down, I would probably have enjoyed it way more, but I wasn't. And again, 1 year to finish off 100 pages. And when I talked about this in my currently reading, I wasn't lying. I had picked it up, read a couple of pages and been like, yeah, I'll start reading it again. But then I stopped after 1 more page every single time. Yeah, it's beautiful written. I like the description of the mythology. But yeah, if she has something else that has come out that I get interested in, I will probably give it a go, because I did like the writing style and things like that. It needs to have way more action than this. Then I read a children's picture book, Flickan från andra sidan havet by Sophie J. Hallgren, with the art by Katarina Winterfors. Story about a girl who after her birthday party is sad because her biological mother wasn't at the party, and the mother tells her about the story of the girl from the other side of the ocean, which is probably this girl's story. And yeah, it was cute. I liked it way more than I thought I would. And yeah, I'm not really a picture book reader, so I can't really say anything else. But I did like it and I thought it was cute. Then we have Döden på Nilen, or Death on the Nile by Agatha Christie. I listened to this and I really enjoyed it. The narrator was great. This is one of my favorite TV show episodes or TV movie things. I really enjoyed it, had fun, knew all the plots and knew all the twists and turns. That didn't surprise me. So yeah, I liked it. Would definitely recommend. And if you're Swede, because since I listen to this in Swedish, I really enjoyed the audiobook and I would definitely recommend it. Then I finished That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, volume 18, Created of a Fuse, art by Taki Kawakama. I love this series. I had been spoiled for this because I thought I was safe. I was not, so I watched a YouTube, well, it was Nightcore. I just clicked on it because it had Rimura on it, and yeah, so I knew what's gonna happen in this. But whatever, more and more politics, and we are getting more information about the demons and the demon lords in this world in this one, so I think that that's this kind of arc's conclusion, that we will find out more about them. But yeah, I'm having a lot of fun and I'm really looking forward to it. So we'll see. And I'm just looking forward to what will happen with one character in particular, because it will be fun. I can't wait for that character and this character to meet. It would be hilarious. But yeah, I love this series. I just love this series, and I definitely need to get the other spin-off, and I also need to get the light novels, because I definitely want to read the light novels as well. Then I'm going to hold up the sequel. So imagine that this has another cover. So this is going to represent Clockwork Boys by T. Kingfisher, which is Ursula Vernon's pen name for when she writes adults, for adults. And yes, this is the sequel that we were supposed to read, but Dad got COVID and I did not want to read anything. But yeah, Clockwork Boys is, I'm going to put this down since it's not this one. The cover is almost exactly the same. Clockwork Boys is about a group of people who gets the mission of finding out what the Clockwork Boys are, or these Kentaur things, what they are, because they are just machines. They tear out everything that they have and everything gets destroyed, and we learn more about the world and things like that. But the people who are going after or have this mission, they are a disgraced paladin, an assassin, a thief and forger, and then a scholar. So it's like a D&D group thrown together. I really enjoyed it. It was fun. It's hard to say exactly what the circles around. I did enjoy the effect of the fact that they are being forced. Except for the scholar. The scholar volunteered, but all the others are being forced to do this with a tattoo that will eat them. That's just brilliant. I really had fun, and I really can't wait to get to this sequel. I just can't do it right now. But can I just say that this is the sequel? This is massive, considering, like, this is over 300 pages, which shouldn't be massive. But the first book was like 200, like something like this. So it's like twice. Well, no, it's not really twice, but that really surprised me. But one thing that I can say that's good about the sequel, because I did try to start it, is that the first chapter, or was it a prologue? Okay, it was a prologue. You get a summary of what happens in the first book, so you can leave it a while. But yeah, I had fun with Clockwork Boys, and it was a good body read. Then I listened to The Rise and Fall of the Dinosaurs by Stephen Burchett, don't know. I thought this was great. I loved it. I gave it 5 stars. I adore the entire thing about it. So it talks about the rise and fall of dinosaurs. It's hard to say what it's about when that is what it's about. And it talks about discoveries and things that has to do with feathers, and I just love this. And I really enjoyed the audiobook as well. I actually think I will buy the physical copy, because the physical copy will probably have some imagery as well. And honestly, just having the images would probably heighten the experience, but I really love the audiobook as well. Some of these goes by fast. Then I felt like reading this one. This is Draca by Johan Egerkrans. Now this is a book about dragons. Its main focus is Western dragons, and then it goes in a little bit shorter about dragons from the Orient, China and Japan. And it does talk a little bit about other kinds of dragons, because they are not technically classified as dragons, even though they are dragon-like. And Johan definitely makes it clear in the introduction that he's focusing on creatures that has been classified 100% as dragons, but does also mention some of these that are dragon-like from the Americas, for instance. But I love this, I adore it, and I really enjoy his art style as well, which is why I will continue to pick these up. Next, I had fun-ish reading a non-fiction about vampires called Vampires by Charlotte Montage. It was fine. It came out 2010, I think, and oh, you can tell because it talks about how Twilight franchise is a thing, and it's like, oh. Well, the Twilight franchise might still be a thing, but like all the movies haven't come out yet, and it's like, oh, that's a while ago. My main issue is personal issue. It sounds so bad. It was not an issue, it's just a taste thing. I personally would have liked the talk about some of these characters that were thought of as vampires, that are these like bloody persons, like for instance Vlad Impaler and Elizabeth, I think it was Elizabeth. Okay, I'm blanking, so I will just... The one who bathed apparently in her victim's blood. Yeah, and I would have wished that those personal would have been a little bit more interspersed instead of being like one section. It made that... It was still interesting, but it made that a bit like a chunk. And I would personally have preferred it to be more spread out. Because I think that was my main issue, was how things were laid out. But I would have preferred a more chronological explanation, or chronological, yeah, just chronologically a little bit more, especially when the author went through the history of vampires and the beliefs and things that happened, and then the advance of science. It felt a little bit, yeah, the author decided to go by subject more instead of chronological, but again, that's a taste thing, and I would have preferred chronologically. But hey, I had fun. Would I say that, oh, you need to read it? No. But yeah, it was fun, and honestly, if a new book like this came out, I would probably read it. And then we have a manga, and that is By the Grace of the Gods, Volume 4, story by Ran and art by Ran. I love this series. And yeah, I just... more and more politics and more about Ryoma, how he deals with being an adult, like over 40 years old, and being put in a boy's body, and how for the rest of the people around him, they go, what has happened to him? Because he's a child. Why is he reacting a certain way? And how he deals with it. And I just... yeah. So we have a... basically it kind of goes into a little bit of therapy for him, and it probably become more and more in the later volumes. I really enjoyed this, and I would definitely recommend you trying this series out. But yeah, this is about a boy who dies and gets offered a chance for a second life in another world, because this world's magic is running out, and they take magic from our world because we don't use it for anything. But to do that, they need to bring a person's soul to this world. He accepts and gets reborn into a 10-year-old or something like that. Yeah, I would definitely recommend this series. I really love it. And again, the way he goes through the events of when he was alive, yeah, I just like that take on it. And I also, yeah, I like to see him heal. And it's also fun to see his the reactions of everything around him when he just go, well, this is basic chemistry, but they don't have chemistry. So I think that's fun. And the last book I finished in January was Poirot's Jul by Agatha Christie, so Poirot's Christmas. Another one that I recognized. Kinda. This was actually one that I don't think I have watched too many times. I think I might have just actually watched it once. So I was actually a bit surprised about this one. But I did definitely recognize it. But it was a bit more fuzzy in my mind. But again, I had fun. The same narrator. I listened to this as an audiobook, and it was the same translator and the same narrator as Death on the Nile. So I enjoyed it and I had fun. And yeah, again, this is like a cozy mystery with murder. So I don't really know what else to say without spoiling things. But it does take place during Christmas, so everyone should be happy, right? So those are the 10 books that I finished in January. What did you read in January? What was your favorite book in January? Please tell me down below. My favorite... Okay. My favorite book was The Rise and Fall of the Dinosaurs by Stephen Buscemi. And the mangas. I love both of them equally. Because they are not books, they are mangas. But yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye.